Hi, it started raining again in Budrum. Rain, tears from heaven. I just wanted to follow up on my grief and loss video that I did, and that's largely due to a comment that was left. One of the first comments, I'm sorry, I forget your name, but it started with a C. I want to thank you for being very brave, and I want to thank you for reaching out. And I just wanted to throw some more stuff at you guys. I know of this man. Oh, before I continue, I want to let's backtrack a little minute. I'm a psychic, okay? And I have done readings for people and connections with their loved ones, and fortunately I have been accurate, but not all psychics are accurate. And if you are in a situation where you have lost a loved one, I did this, okay? I'm a psychic, but I couldn't get connection to my loved one, and I wanted to reach out, I wanted to connect, I wanted to see why. Well, with Rob, there was a lot of unanswered questions. He's gone to his grave, secrets, on both sides, and I wanted answers. And with Jimmy, my dog, that died last year at less than 6, he was dead. 1 minute healthy, next minute dead. And I am sidetracking with the vet. Then I told the vet, he said he'd suspect that it was poison the way that Jimmy died. And you know that I was still in drug addiction and everything, and that made it worse for me because I thought the day before, there were flies in the house, and I've been using fly spray and sprayed it all along, and the vet seemed to allege that it was a fly spray. So I thought, fuck, I've killed my dog. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. That's not true. I didn't kill my dog. That kept me in drug addiction for a little bit longer. Also, again, I'll be drinking cups of tea because it's morning tea time. Psychics. Yeah, going back to psychics. This is a damning thing about psychics. Psychics make money off those who grieve and loss. I did it. I paid money. I looked for the cheapest psychic because being on a pension, I couldn't afford money, and I wanted connection with my loved one for the reasons I've just explained. So I didn't pay very much. All up in total with this particular psychic, I paid about $150, okay? And that's for several readings. I didn't get connection. In fact, with my husband, she said cat is important with a K. And there was a girl I know called Cat, but if I thought about that, then my head went to really dark places, Was he, why is she important? So we don't have cats, so it just didn't make sense. And then a friend of a friend told me of this guy who, he himself, the guy, should have been dead. He beat bowel cancer. But while he was going through bowel cancer, he lost his beloved wife. And at the time that I just started my grief thing over Rob, and I hadn't yet contacted psychics. But the guy, the friend of a friend, because I knew the guy as well, but this guy told me that the guy who had lost his wife had paid over $60,000 to psychics to try and get in touch with his wife. And also that he had kept his wife's phone and it would keep ringing the wife's phone, kept it charged and this is 6 years later, keep ringing the wife's phone just so he could hear her voice. Now, what I wanted to elaborate, excuse me, just have a cup of tea. is that for me, after about 3 months of grieving for Rob, my doctor said, that's enough, and put me on antidepressants. That's BS. You know, what I'm saying is that because I was sad and naturally feeling a loss and crying, professions and society in general cannot handle someone being sad. So they put you on antidepressants. And that's just a band-aid. That's not allowing me to feel. That's saying I have a mental illness when it was a natural reaction. You know, when you lose some death, it is natural to cry. What's unnatural if I started running around partying and laughing and dancing, say, woohoo, you know, I'm having a great time, this person's dead. Then treat me. Anyway, when Jimmy died, my dog, I took myself off the antidepressant, went cold turkey, because I said, fuck this, I'm going to feel it. I'm not going to, 50 years down the track, suddenly remember all this. And it's not just death, we grieve for loss of everything. Loss of freedom. This poor person, who's in isolation, she or he, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Like you said, you don't know me. They are in isolation. So loss of being that connection. We need connection. We're very social animals. We need connection. And to tell us how long to grieve for, how long to cry for, is wrong. Grief, I call it a pain. It's right down here in your gut. Every time, sorry, tears are starting there. Every time you think, sorry, I don't mean to lose control, but every time you think of this loss, take a breath, Jen, in your gut, you'll go, whoa, your breath. It's not only your breath, this is the pain and the lump at the back of your throat that you can't swallow. And there isn't a cure. I was in my doctor's surgery one day, and this lady, you just seem to gravitate towards people, and there's a purpose, there's a reason. And this lady, she was a lot older than me, gravitated towards me, and she told me that she had lost her husband, who had Parkinson's, 23 years ago, and he too had character changes at the end because he got an infection, and he too was a vile, nasty person. And what this is sad bit about part of grieving is that I was lucky that when Rob came back, he was given that low chance, of recovering, and he came back and he was a changed man. I got to see a loving husband. Can you imagine if he had died in that horrible place that we were in with all that domestic violence and abuse? I'll tell you something. This virus thing changed him that much. I thought it was me. I thought I was a bad one, and I attempted suicide in 2020. I overdosed and was unconscious for 3 days. Please listen to me. If you're watching this and you're grieving, I really am sorry. Here's my hand. If I can help you just by this video, please listen. If you're alive, you have a purpose. And I know it hurts. I know you're going through shit. I know you're going through anger, remorse. If only I had been the better this. If only I had done this. It doesn't change anything, okay? Don't put yourself through that shit. Life goes on. And yes, we have to live with this pain. But please, reach out. For me, reaching out was going to, my nose is dripping there, was going to this, group and loss support group and meeting people who were going through the same thing as I was. Now, you can buy books, you can watch videos, but connection is important. And sometimes family doesn't understand, sometimes friends don't understand, often the health professionals don't understand. It's get over it. Get over it. You should be over it by now. Hey, you take as long as you want to mourn that person. Even if you have hate, you're still mourning. I just want to say to you, whoever you are watching this, you are very brave. You have courage to be here in this position. You are very, very brave and strong. And the other thing is I'm sure that person who's died, they don't want us to see us crying. They want us happy. In fact, if I had died and my husband, who was only 38, who died, had been the one who lived, I would have wanted him to have remarried, to be happy, to have had children. I wouldn't want him in this mess. But that doesn't help you, does it? That doesn't help you get over your grief. As I said, anniversaries are triggers, and I just want to put it out there to you that, how I said in my last video about journals, write also a list of grateful, how you were grateful, gratitude. Even though we had bad times in my marriage, I'm grateful I knew Rob. I'm grateful I got love. I'm grateful for Jimmy. We can't take that away. And one thing grief and loss has taught me is this, and please remember this, to cherish every moment and to love the best you can. And I'm sorry, I haven't really given you any more tools. I've just elaborated a bit more on grief and loss. And I just want to say it's part of life, and it's a fucked up part of life. And you are very brave, You're very brave. And if you reach out, just that comment inspired me to do this video for you. So thank you and love to all. Bye. Bye. Take care.